Okay, I think we're all in here now. Um,
Are you
Basically, what
live
we're going to
yet?
be doing is we're just going to go over more in depth, I guess, with the intermediate teams for season 27. We're
Okay, I'm
going
here.
to we're going to kind of steal Max's idea from what he did last season a little bit when it comes to rating them, the S tier teams, everything like that. We don't have our schedules out yet, so we can't do predictions. And then when we're done with that, we're just gonna go through real quick through contender and just rate those teams real quick on the S tier scale as well. But that one we won't go in much detail because I know Fireman's gonna go off and do that a little bit more afterwards. And we've
Did you
got
start already?
yeah. And we've got the entire of 82L is here. Scotty, Fireman, Max, Rhino couldn't make it. Dylan's here. Thug bailed out last second. But we'll go over the first team, which is I think the newest team that's added is Nuisance. This is they used to be Dinosaur Orchestra, Georgie, Digital Reaper, and Aegis or Yeet Hub are all from that team. They've got Framer. I think everybody knows Framer. Gosh, follow sounds so loud. I guess I gotta wait now. Thanks, Seth. Is that our Seth?
That is indeed our fourth set.
That is our Seth. Thank you. Um, but yeah, everybody knows Framer. Shady Souls, I think he's new to the league. I could be wrong. I don't think he's been on a team before. I guess I think I know everybody. I'm gonna click on Shady and go check out his Dota buff a little bit. This team, it's I mean the team's been playing together for a little bit now. Tell us that
Can
you
I
really
can I
don't.
say something?
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
Okay, so Shady was going to be on my team, but I talked to him and I told him he should do intermediate. So he's one of my players that left my team, and I think he's really good. I think he's gonna play really well. I think he's like ancient two. I think he'll get to ancient two in a week or two. So I think he's a really good player.
I think so how I believe this is going is Shady's playing carry, Yeet's playing middle, Framer's playing 3, Georgie's playing 4, and Reaper's playing 5. Now, I think overall the team's going to do pretty well this season. The only thing I see with this team having an issue is a lot of their heroes have a smaller pool, I guess. I'm not going to tell what their pools are. I'll let team captains do their own research and figure it out. Georgie, I mean, everybody plays a bunch of heroes and that stuff, but how well you play them is kind of the deciding factor. Georgie plays like 2 or 3 heroes. Reaper plays like 2 or 3 heroes. Framer, I have no idea what that guy does in the off lane, but a few people vouch that he's very good. Shady Souls, I don't know too much. Yeet plays 2 heroes, but he's working on more. So I think that team is going to be interesting to see how they do. Um, Shady Souls
I can
doesn't
pitch
seem
in.
to have. Oh, what?
I can pitch in. Their ranks are pretty decent. They're all ancients except for Shady Souls, who's sitting at Legend 5. The thing that, I mean, it's obvious that they're a new team. They're just hastily assembled. They haven't been playing together. They don't have the team cohesion that some other teams do. And two of their players have a low amount of games, or at least what I consider a low amount, which is under 1,000.
Who's the other one? One's Shady.
And
Oh,
Georgie
Georgie. Yeah,
has
Georgie.
429 wins, 314 losses.
Yeah.
It's a good win rate. It's a low amount of heroes. I don't know if that's his. He has another account, but
I think
Who's Shady? No, he
no, no,
doesn't.
no,
He
no.
doesn't.
Georgie,
Yeah,
Georgie.
Georgie. I think Georgie
Oh,
had another account, but his account got banned, because Georgie is very vocal in his games. So, but I think his other account was like a like mid-tier legend. So I don't think his was like an actual like Smurf or Sandbag or anything like that. I've known Georgie for a little while now. I don't think he'd do anything like that. So people might try to
And
call him out on it, but I don't know. I
is
feel like
digital
what?
is Digital Reaper like an old 82L guy? Has he been like around for a long time?
Um,
Because I'm just seeing his ID on 82L on the website is 4 digits instead of 5.
yeah, he played one game in 82L season 17.
Ooh, Got an old boy here.
Yeah. So he played one game, realized that we suck, and left. But yeah, I think that's unless anybody, I don't think too many of you guys know much about that team. I guess Framer is really the only one that most of you guys know. I don't think that there's too much more to comment on with them. They're a newer team, so
I like them.
like.
They're probably
I think they'll be
BR8.
mid-range.
Hmm.
The next group we got is the TTP project, captained by all around good guy. This was the team that he had a little while ago. They stopped playing, and then he brought it back together. Him, Mango, Kiwi, Worst Legend Player, and Blue. This is a team that I'm interested to see because we all know Mango as the best mid laner to ever grace 82L, and now he's playing position 4. He's laning with a really good offlaner, Blue. So I haven't seen Kiwi play. I don't know who Worst Legend Player is, so I can't say anything about them. All around good guy is one of the better fives actually. A lot of people know him as playing position 1, but uh good guy is when he plays 5, he does a very good job. And then Blue of course is a really good offlaner as well. So the team's got some pretty solid players. I guess you just gotta pay attention to the others and see what they're gonna be doing this season.
Yeah, isn't Mango playing 4?
Legend is let's go. Okay. Never mind. I
It,
know who this is. Well, yeah,
it,
Mango's playing 4.
yeah.
Oh, Blue is middle, Kiwi's the offlane? Is that how it is?
Yeah, he played middle in their stream the other day versus him.
Oh, I thought that it was gonna be the other way. Don't listen to Mango, guys. Mango's not a reliable source. You think him being on the team would be enough, but that's not it. But
I
yeah.
mean, they have a pretty decently high average MMR, but still, it's a lot of new players. I don't know how many of those guys are sticking around from the old TTP roster. I know Kiwi and Mango are definitely new additions.
Yeah, I think Good Guy's the only one. I think Eggs used to be on the team, and he was part of the original roster here, but I don't know, a couple days after they made the roster, he wasn't on here no more, so I don't know if he decided he didn't want to play. He was on Retro last season, but I don't know.
So I mean, I would say that they're probably just, I mean, a little bit. I would rate them a little bit higher than Nuisance, but they're still going to be going through the same issues of trying to build the cohesion between a new roster. But they've got slightly higher ranks to make up for that. So
I don't know. I think that this team is going to be. I mean, this one's got a bunch of players that we know we've seen before. We see them in 82L. They've been on teams. They've subbed. They've casted games. They're all around. But I don't know. I think it's tough just because I haven't got to see Mango play support all that much, and I feel like because he's played core, he likes to play like pause for sniper and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see that. Hopefully his team can corral him and don't give in to his if you've queued up a game with Mango, you know how Mango is.
You know what? I think Mango, like, yeah, he is a goof, but I think Mango has really good map awareness, so I think that's going to be a huge advantage to him when he is playing pause 4. I can't speak about the other guys. Like, I've seen a couple of these guys' names. I don't know how good they'll be overall. I kind of have them as like mid tier, but
Immaculate.
I have 5 tiers on mine on my Word document, but I think they're mid tier for me, but I think they could go far. I think they could be like the A tier eventually.
Yeah, I got it. I don't know if any of you guys
Mhm.
have a stream opened up right now. After we go through the teams, I'm going to put the teams where I think that they belong: S tier at the top, A tier, B tier, and then C tier at the bottom. Um,
Can you have F tier for friendly?
No.
Fenley, they're there, but they're actually not.
But if you guys think that I should put a team when I put it on the list and that stuff, if you think that I should what the hell?
Mhm.
But if you guys think that a team is in the wrong category, go ahead and argue it, and I might move them. But the only reason why these guys are in B tier for both these teams, I know a lot of these players. I've played games with a lot of them, casted for a bunch of them. I think individually there are a lot of really good players. I just haven't got to see them all that much. So that's why I'm putting them in B tier, because I don't know how they play together yet. But we'll move on to the next one, the Low Prio Gods. Now, this is a team that I don't really know anything about. Max, I don't know if you were Dylan. I know you guys a lot of times like to do research on teams and that stuff. I don't know if either of you guys know anything about these guys. JMLV is the only one that sounds familiar to me.
All I can tell you right now is that they only have one player that's ancient. JMLV is ancient 5. The rest of them they have 2 archons and 2 legends.
So for the stream, real quick, go to Mr. Taco Fish's Dota buff.
Okay, give me a second.
And then go to his esports profile. That game was a TI6 open qualifier, and they have 4 of the same 5 people playing. So it looks like they've been playing together for a decent time.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've seen is that there's 4 of the 5 same people on this roster, and that was a TI6 qualifier.
But it looks like outside of that, they really don't play too many. Yeah, this is like their first quote unquote like tournament then.
Yeah, they haven't played any tournaments together, but they might have been pubbing for a few years.
Yo, dude.
I mean, it's worth a lot. Be playing
No
with the
shit.
same squad for a while. You can definitely make up for
Ooh.
lack of individual.
Uh-oh. I think we have looks like Jared the Jew
Yikes.
could be is Drodes in here again with another account?
Oh,
A lot of
here
games
we
on
go.
Monkey King.
Here we go.
Dude, I clicked their name. It seems like they played AD2L a few years ago as well, like 2016.
I feel like I've seen JMLB before. At least the name.
Same.
Holy crap. Prophet has over 1,000 games on Pudge, and he's got like
Yeah,
almost 4K games in total. A quarter of his games are on Pudge.
that's
Holy crap.
might be a target ban there. Oh, JMLB plays RD2L.
Oh, that's
Okay,
where I've seen the name.
Did I look at Roy yet?
It looks like they're playing together too, a little bit too, live. So that's they might have some team chem.
Yeah, they're playing a lot of games together, but like this week they got 18 games together and a 33% win rate, 10 games together, 20% win rate. So their win rates aren't looking too good right now, and their data quality is low
Brian's
for
in there.
everybody.
Uh,
I think for low prio gods, I think I'm gonna put them in C tier. Just because based on the Dota buffs a little bit. I'll zoom in a bit. Okay. There we go. That should be better now.
I agree with you, man.
Okay. But yeah, it's another. I think there's a couple more teams that are a little bit newer, but I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Now we're here with this team from last season, Tennessee Tech Esports Club. Same roster, bunch of guys in college at Tennessee Tech. If you guys couldn't put that together, I don't worry, I got the quick math for you. They've been playing together for quite a while. I introduced this team to the league actually, cause they helped me find the caster gig where I got to cast for a college esports league, and then so I helped them with 82L. This team, their players are overall pretty decent. Their strength is the off lane. Their offlane duo just basically run at you and make you want to abandon the game. And they just play it so well that the offlane wins them the game pretty much. But the only downside with that strategy is if you have a strong safe laner and a support or two up there with them that play really well, you're kind of screwed. That's kind of their strategy. They start to fall apart if that doesn't work. I know last season they were shout out to DH. They were tied with us at the bottom of the pack for intermediate. So I don't know how. I think what teams did they? I think they took a game off of Umbra, and then I think a game off of Ember actually too.
Well, if we scroll down just a little
Oh
bit on your
yeah.
stream, you know,
Yeah,
we
they
do
took one
have
off
that
of Ember
ability.
and Umbra. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's some
Yeah,
quick math. I was right though. See, I said Ember and
yeah.
Umbra. It probably looked like I just looked at the screen, but I actually was looking at my room trying to figure out what the teams were.
I believe you, dude.
Yeah. DH, we 2-0'd them. So I mean, if we beat them, that tells you something.
What does that tell you?
That they're not good. No.
What are you trying to say about your team
No
or
comment.
last
No
season?
comment. No comment. We're not to my team yet. But yeah, I think this team. I don't know. A lot of it too is their college guys are just kind of playing for fun. They're getting they're getting scholarships to play and that stuff, so they're just kind of doing it because that's free money basically for them.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go to a college for esports, they give it's usually nothing to it all depends on the school. Like my brother went to a college for computer engineering and he got a scholarship for Hearthstone and it took a couple $1,000s off of his total scholarship or his total cost.
Well, in Canada, let me tell you, I went to college and nobody gave me a scholarship for my casting or Dota play.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
Did you present it to him though?
I mentioned it.
You probably didn't pitch it right.
I didn't present it like these guys, but seriously, like I'm sorry, legends and ancient players, they get this. Like I'd understand if it was like divine and immortal players, but that's cool.
Yeah, these guys, they've got some decent win rates with each other though. They've got some nice names. The Boulder, but he goes by Captain Daddy, and 50 Shades of Clay. Some name wise, they've got it. The Dota buff. Their win rates are really good though. Oops, I clicked on that. Look, it's our boy Scotty. I accidentally clicked on that. All right, Dylan, where do you want to put these guys out on the list? What do you think?
Hmm.
I mean, they finished the season last season with 2 wins, and then unfortunately they were a round 1 knockout as well.
Yeah, I think they could take games off some of the lower tier teams like IBAD, but no, but I do think that they can
Yikes.
bully some of the lower tier teams. Like you said, if they have a super strong offlane duo, then they'll just kind of run over some teams with the weaker safe lane, especially with safe lane not being the strongest in the current patch.
Yeah.
I think they'll take a lot of series 1-1 potentially, like maybe surprise some people in the first game and then maybe lose the second. But I think they'll be like middle of the pack.
Okay, so are you thinking another B tier team?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we can also like move people a little bit as well
Yeah, we can move people as well
afterwards.
when we. Yeah, definitely.
And be like, okay, B tier is full, and maybe one person gets A tier. Like S tier, not everybody could be S and A.
No.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
This is looking good though. A lot of teams of equal skill. If we have like 3 teams in B already.
Yeah. Before I move on, Max, do you have anything to say about these guys? Anything you want to add?
Don't know them,
Don't know. Okay.
but I mean, I would agree with everything that's been said. They seem pretty average for the time being.
And then we move on to the second to last team for A Division is Team Retro. Now the only player that is still on here is Moo. I believe the other 3 players that they have were going to be on Team Retro originally, but for different reasons, personal reasons, whatever it might have been. From my understanding, from what Meerkat has told me and Talus a little bit, is that these guys were like the original members, and then they just ended up leaving, and that's why they had the players that they had for this last season. It doesn't look like they have a full roster as of right now. Let me check out a couple of these guys here. Okay, Hugh Young doesn't have too many games. Plays a decent amount of Bounty Hunter, a lot of support. Doesn't play games with any of his buddies. What the heck? OGC. The only thing I know about this team is Moo. If anybody knows me, they know I don't get along with Moo. Moo has a tendency to go offlane Bloodseeker in my games and go first item Scepter.
I have a question. Moo and Meerkat are the guys that hated each other, but we're playing together, right?
Yes. Well, no, they got along.
Okay.
They got along with each other until one night where Meerkat snapped, and in the middle of the Underdogs tournament, Meerkat quit the team.
Right. Okay.
That
I'm
was
just
wild.
following
I
up.
caught that on stream. That was awesome.
Oh, he's HF5 now?
No, this is Manoy.
Oh, okay. I thought we were on Moo. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know
Just-
Manoy.
Oh, this guy stopped playing.
This guy did not stop playing. He just has Dota buff. Public matchmaking data not exposed.
Wait, really?
Moo has.
Yeah, I have him on my friends list. He's on my RD12 team. He's
He
he's
turned
actually,
it off.
Middle.
he actually dropped rank since he turned it off. I think he's Ancient 4 now, but he's still a good player, a good mid laner.
Like, aren't you
Uh,
supposed to have all your matches on? Why is this guy turning it off? Dylan, talk to me. I need to know
Me?
because isn't a part of 82L to have Dota buff on? Looks a little suspicious.
Yeah, there's like I
Yeah,
don't know. I'd say
I
like
just-
10. I'd say like there's a 50% chance that a new team is gonna have at least 1 or 2 people.
there's at least 10
With
people
Dota
that
buff.
are not fully compliant with all the rules right now. So I mean, just gonna have to make an announcement for that, get all sorted out. But Manoy's legit. He's Ancient 4. He's good. He's a good mid laner. Holds his own against Immortals.
All I gotta say,
Um,
if you guys don't have your count public, listen. Urbo's been watching a hell of a lot of cops. He knows how to get away with stuff now. And I'll just let him run free, okay? Urbo's already been talking about going crazy and that stuff, and if I try to stop him, that he's gonna take me out. So just make your
He is
accounts.
very susceptible to getting run over by vehicles, though.
Yes.
So-
Yikes.
So just make your accounts public. Like there's no reason to hide it. You're not a professional player. You know, you I guarantee you every single team in this league scouts other teams, and you're taking advantage that everybody's playing by the rules, and then you're just hiding your account. So I don't know.
That's why you
Do
get a
those
Smurf
games never
practice.
come back to Dota buff if he returns his account? Like, are those games just never on Dota buff? Does anybody
no,
know?
they can dig him up.
Aren't.
They can dig him up.
This is why you expose all your matchmaking data on your main. Get a Smurf, practice your bows and your brood.
Dang.
Lone druids on your Smurf.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Hmm?
What, Scotty? Were you talking and then you stopped and said, "Wait, what?" to yourself?
that was funny.
that was the point.
Yikes. Okay. Now, I don't know.
Sorry.
I'm a bit biased with this, so you guys can vote on it. However, if it is up to me, Team Retro is going in C tier.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
depends on who's playing core roles for them.
You know
Look,
what?
Manoy, I guarantee you, is going to be wrecking the mid lane
Because
against a lot of teams.
The issue that I see with the team is I'm pretty sure Moo is still going to be a drafter, and he gets away with it sometimes, but Moo is very, very set in his ways on what works and what doesn't, and what's popular in the meta and what's not and everything. and a lot of his stuff is backwards from what it actually is. Now, yes, they do get away with some games and that stuff. It happens. I'm not gonna, shit on everything. However, if he's put up against a team of equal skill compared to his own, they're going to lose the draft. I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10. And with a lot of teams that are same skill, it comes down to the draft.
Yeah, no, I definitely see the team cohesion and lack of it being a massive drawback for these guys, even more so than the other new teams. But
I think they could potentially win a lot more games than we're expecting. Like if Moo's playing carry or something, you just first phase pick his Bloodseeker. No one cares. And then you get like a later pick or a last pick for their mid, which Max is backing as a good player. So I think they could potentially win games because of that. Just have your mid laner get a nice last pick hero. Moo's going to play his comfort. I mean, it's kind of like you disrupt the carry or something, or the enemy mid laner, and they just kind of have to stand there. So like, it's
if
not
you,
terrible, but I mean, if people just ban his Bloodseeker, then there goes Moo's comfort.
Yeah.
I think they are B tier right now, but I think out of the teams, I think they could go right to A. You know what? Blood's Moo, depending on what he's playing. If he learns any other hero besides Bloodseeker, and he doesn't always pick it. But what Dylan's telling me is this mid player that hit his Dota buff, you know what? He is potentially beating Immortals in the mid lane. That means he's going to outplay some of these other mids and intermediate, I think. And I think that could carry a team.
I think it's just up to Moo if he's drafting, how much he values himself in that team. Because if he values himself higher than he probably should, and he maybe picks mid early and they get a bad matchup, I think they're not going to do well. But I think if he realizes that they need a player on their mid, then they could win some games.
So, like I said, my choice is very biased, so I'm not even gonna let my opinion matter in this. What do you guys want to put him as?
I have him as B tier, but I put in brackets on my list potential for A tier. And that's no biasness. I really think their mid could take them a long way from what Dylan told me.
Max, but yes.
Max, yeah, wasn't
Oh,
me.
Max? Oh, my bad. You guys sound alike.
I think we're kind of abusing B tier here. I think we'll need to revisit it at the end. And
Yeah, we will.
Hear me out. This is week 1. Lots of teams can be in the B tier. There's progression. Then you're like, after the first week, you could be like, oh yeah, this is an A tier team.
That's true.
This is first week. We don't know. Why can't everybody be in B tier?
Because some people suck.
True. Someone's gonna be in C.
A lot of unproven talent here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Max. What do you think? You think they belong in B tier?
I mean, yeah, their performance is going to be very dependent on who they're playing up against, and like they have flaws that are I would assume, are easy to exploit, but you have to have a team that's capable of exploiting those flaws.
All right, now we are on to the last team in Division A. We have the worst Dota 2 name for 82L, IBAD.
Yeah.
Dead Game Artifact.
You guys are just jelly.
All right, so Max, do
You
you
wish
want
you
to
had sick acronyms like I do.
Max, do you want to make a case for your team at all, or do you want to just be taken out of it completely, since you'll probably be biased towards your own team?
Everyone knew that IBAD in the 2 seasons that they have played were a dominating team. We just completely rolled over the season that we first played, our entry into 82L, just cruised through it. Next season, we were only
the mid being free agents. He decided to replace them with worse players.
Let him continue.
Second season, we were only held back by our players not being able to show up. And after a season break, I decided it's time to bring back the 2 best players. from the roster. Toast and Dags.
Where's Scotty?
Still
He's,
hard
yo,
stuff to work on.
I don't know if you heard him, Fire. He said best players.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking. Why? I'm just wondering.
I mean, everyone on this roster has played with each other competitively. I mean, apart from Insane Chaos, who's our new mid, and I mean, I feel like we are very, very comfortable playing together, and as a result, we know what we're doing, and we should have a good time.
So you're saying your chemistry should be taken in huge consideration.
We have the individual skill. We've got the chemistry. There is
Okay.
no weakness.
Okay.
I would like to speak.
Oh man.
Oh.
All right, Scotty, the floor
we
is
go.
yours.
All right, I'll be as fair as I possibly can. I've had the privilege of watching a couple of scrims and watching them play pubs together, and a battle cup or two. And
Don't bring up
I
the pubs, man.
I think skill wise they're pretty good individually, and they do have pretty good cohesion early game. Pretty strong in lane. I think their biggest issue is going high ground, and they have a problem ending the game. If that's something they can figure out, I think their mid is pretty good skill wise. I don't know how he does laning because I haven't really watched him. He makes a lot of mistakes in team fights, and he kind of has a short fuse. There was one time he died and bought back and didn't have a TP to get back into the fight, which made absolutely no sense to me. And also, I've played pubs with him, and he has a super short fuse. But other than that, I think their team looks pretty good. Yeah. Max said that they're playing better Dota than before, than any other iBad roster, which I would disagree with right now. That's it.
I would say I do think that iBad is I when 2 seasons ago was when I first started playing in 82L, and I didn't pay too close attention to the teams. Your team especially because we didn't play you guys in the regular season or the playoffs. So your guys' team was like the only one that I didn't pay attention to. I paid attention more this last season, but then that died off again. We were in different divisions and then eventually different leagues. So I haven't followed it all that much. Scrimming against you guys, we went 1-1. I do think that the team is really strong. I agree with the laning phase. You guys do play well. From the little bit that I have played you guys, when it's come to these couple scrims we've done, I'm not gonna give it away, but I feel like the way you guys want to play the game is kind of a one-trick pony in a sense. You guys have a certain goal in mind how you want to win the game, and it works for you majority of the time, so you go with it all the time. And I feel like if teams can figure that out and exploit it, then you guys will struggle. But based on your guys' performances, you guys have high win rates. Teams aren't figuring it out yet. So I think you guys are going to be one of the top teams in the league, I think, this season.
You ready, Juke? You ready for my opinion?
Okay. Max, make sure to hold until he's done.
I'll save my opinion for last.
C tier team right here.
Oh my god!
I do not think they're better than
A
some of these.
This
I don't
team
think
is
they're
A tier.
Yeah, Scotty, do I get to say my little 30-second opinion
Yeah,
here?
go ahead, but they're A tier.
Thank you. Thank you. C tier. By the way, I have F tier, which is friendly. So they're not at the bottom. But I look at these rosters. I open up my WordPad. I see Nuisance, TTP, and Team Retro. I have them at B. I can't put Mad Max's team A when I got these guys at B, or am I bumping everybody to S tier? Like, I don't know. I look at this team. I think Mad Max is going to struggle against some of these carry lanes and intermediate. I think he kind of plays he doesn't play like Rhino, but when I think of Mad Max, I kind of think of Rhino, like different play styles, but I think of the same people. They play a certain way. They don't really change up how they play. And I was looking at some recents, Mad Max, and I realized these mean nothing when you play with your team. And I just see some off-lane games, 6-14, 8-16, 4-10. These are not looking good for you. They are not looking good for you.
Dang, this is
I'm
getting
not trying to
personal.
flame you.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to flame you
No flame.
at all. But I'm just saying
I thought we were gonna be
that-
like have some tact because we're in the same call here.
I'm trying to be as nice. Your support is Archon 2. And then I see what your team has like on mine playing with.
Damn.
So you've been winning with Insane Chaos.
30
But
seconds.
Dagley, you're under
30
50.
seconds, by the way.
Rumpage, you're under 50. Toast, you're 1 out of 3. B minus data quality. I don't know. I'm a little concerned for you guys. C for this Toast guy, and he's good thing he's a support because
Okay.
I don't want my guy at C.
Okay.
Oh my
So
god!
I have you at C tier. Maybe it changes, but I'm just saying no. No hate. I hope you
Alright.
prove me wrong.
Allow me a
Overall-
You're
No, no, no,
rebuttal,
Max.
please.
No,
A
no, no, no,
moment
no.
of your time.
Max
Okay.
thought I was gonna go in.
Okay. Overall, team-wise, I think they're one of the more well-rounded teams in terms of you don't have like one superstar mid laner. Like this team overall is very, very solid, and they've shown it in scrims.
Yeah.
Individual, they each have their own little hero pool that they like to play. But you can't ban all of them. Like either
Can't ban all
Insane
of
Chaos
Max's,
is gonna.
though. All you need is one ban.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can target one individual person, but then you're still gonna go against 3 other master tier heroes. Like it doesn't really matter who you target ban. They all have like their little hero pool, and you're not really gonna ban it out. Like they've already beaten Rhino Stack. They've already taken a game off of Digital Habitat. Like what people would think are like the upper tier teams in intermediate, like they've already beaten in scrims. Which I know it's preseason scrims don't really mean much, but like they're pretty solid. Like you're gonna have to target one person, but the other 4 are gonna get what they want. Which I mean, I think if you can limit their comfort heroes, that's gonna be a lot better for you. But you're
Now,
1 or 2 of them are gonna get their heroes.
I'm gonna go through, and now when I defend a team, they should say something because I want to trash talk all the teams I can. Max's team, they've got to play. Like I said, the thing is that you have to keep in mind is they've got their play style figured out. They know how they want to play the game. They know how they can win the game, and they're gonna keep doing that. The thing about all these teams we've gone through so far, not that they're bad teams or anything, it's just every team has their own play style. I have my play style that I want my players to work on. You know, we talk about it in our team chat all the time. I tell them what I want them to practice on because it fits my play style, and as the captain, I want my team to revolve around that. Most captains, however, will stick to their play style. They will not adapt to how other teams play. They will just stick to their guns and go for it. How Max and his team play, that is one of the strongest play styles. And if teams don't adapt to it and don't notice that, which from the teams we've seen so far, they will not see that. The reason why they're in A tier is because IBAT is better than all of these teams that are on this list as of right now.
I would agree with that.
I completely disagree, but
Do I get my
I'll
rebuttal
accept.
yet?
Yeah, Max, go ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, judging my team off of pubs is a big mistake because I think our ranks are low. We're probably one of the lowest average ranks in intermediate. We only have 2 ancient players, and both of them are only like ancient 1 and ancient 2. And yes, Toast is an Archon. I don't see our strength in individuals because I don't like playing around individual skill. I think the strength of my team is in my captaining. And when we play pubs with all pick, I have no control over what my supports play. Toast likes to pick up his position 4 Pudge or position 5 Pudge. I never, ever will pick Pudge in a competitive, serious game.
Name
So-
another player that is 11-0 on a hero in competitive Dota.
Toast Shaman actually
Name another
undefeated
player.
in 82
You can't do it.
Okay? Undefeated. Nobody could beat it. Dagley is such a crazy player that every time we queue a pub with him, it puts us up against the vines. Okay?
I would put them A tier just solely because of Dagley. That guy's honestly one of the juiciest 4s in all of 82L.
Dagley's a
Yes.
legend.
That is not a hot take, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dagley wins games. That's about it.
As long as you don't pick him bench or some useless hero.
Yeah, just don't.
That's
take,
from his own thoughts, not mine.
give Dagley a hero that's gonna win you the game, and he will do it, guaranteed. every time.
I think week
Can
one
I-
it's gonna be nice to watch IBAD to see how they do because kind of seems like we're split a little bit. I say split.
I
It seems like it's mostly Fireryman.
Whoa. Let me just
I
say,
will say that I've watched Realm Feed play, and like he's a very risk averse carry, like probably one of the most risk averse carries I've ever seen. And I think it's like it's a big strength into him getting farmed in the mid game. And if he just makes the right decisions when they're going high ground, I think they'll just be a consistently good team. And that's why I have them in A tier.
this is why we have so many people in here, because we can have different opinions, right? And you know,
I think
if IBAD wins this league, listen, that is fantastic. You know, Red versus 5, Red stand by. You know, the team that just
What?
won.
Have you
You
said
know-
their name right, or you're just gonna say it differently every time?
Fine.
I'm gonna say it wrong every time. You know who? You know who had him in A
five.
tier? Everybody else had him in B. Some
What?
people
I
had him in their
A
low
I said
tier.
this team- I said their top
Who
5.
had them in? I had them at the top, and I said this team can win it all. And guess what happened? They won it all.
I said for the
I
Fireman.
take
start.
Fireman all over the place.
Well, that's 'cause I paid
You
millions.
are not special. I also had him in A tier. I also had him predicted to be one of these strongest teams.
Everyone.
And the only
that's
reason
on
I
iPad
joined-
has predicted Red 5 as a top team.
The only reason I joined the content stream was to balance out all of your wrong opinions.
My wrong opinions?
I have it. He
You
sent
may-
it in a message. I can confirm.
My time has come.
Listen,
You literally just said that you were the only one who predicted the Red 5 to be the top team, and that is blatantly false.
listen up. Listen up. You know, you got to make these strong just statements. See, listen, you can stream content and be really safe, or you can actually produce good content where you're going to be wrong on some, but when you're right on that one nugget, it's good. It is good. So I like I put IBAD as my C tier, and when I'm wrong, you know what, I'll make a statement on content that everybody else is right, and you know what? But
Okay.
if I'm right,
Please,
everybody
for the
else
love of
does.
God, Max, if you guys are pushing high ground at 60 minutes, please tell Realm to get out of the jungle.
Dude,
That's all I ask. Every time I've ever seen you guys try to go high ground, Realm is still farming. Tell Arteezy to get out of his head and play the game with you guys.
we don't push high ground until the other team megas us, okay?
I know, trust me. And Realm is still jungling while they're taking your high ground.
I think my take was fair, considering how unfair Insane Chaos has been to me, and that is all I will say on the matter. IBAD,
Alright.
A team, that is all.
We're moving on from this.
We did an entire
It's
2-hour
alright.
content section on
we
just
have
IBAD.
literally half of the stream has been IBAD.
Listen, they're just the first team that's really were like in it. You know what I mean? So I'm happy
No,
we spent some time.
Just wait a second, Fireman, because next up on the list we have the most hated team in 82 LT member.
You know what?
All I will say on this is Max can't comment because he's got to be professional, so I will speak for him on his behalf. I say we all drop an F in the chat if we want all of these players banned from the league. That's all I'm gonna say. I think we can go ahead and start dropping it. No, the team trying to be respectful about it. The team, I mean, they won intermediate. We're not gonna talk about how they won. They played their games. They beat Cine Gang at half strength. So that's something. I don't like these guys. I don't like Revamp at all. I can't say too much nice stuff on. If somebody wants to take over and say something nice, be my guest.
I think
Okay.
we can move on to the
Look,
next.
No, I'll say some nice
If
things.
they're defending champions, put them up in A tier. They're able to beat all the intermediate divisions last season, or intermediate teams, and I think that if they were able to do it once, they'll be able to do or come very close to it again. So if you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. Don't
I
slander
can't.
them. Leave them.
I'm not gonna slander anybody. No
They
character.
got a championship,
slam.
and even if you don't agree with the grand finals, they still made it to second
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Can I say like 1 minute?
No.
No slamming character. There will be no slamming character at all. Just slamming how well some players play. I do want to say team member is, you're right, defending champions. They're coming back with the exact same roster, same 5 players. I think Revamp's actually a really good support. I actually do think he's probably one of the best pause 5/4s in intermediate. I might not like him, but I could give him that. However, when I played and we 2-0'd him, team member, and I didn't play for a month, I dumpstered Sean +1. Like, I think their offlaner is extremely weak as a player. And I think I think what they should do is put their offlaner on a hero that can be dumpstered, and just focus on everybody else. Because I even their support player, like I thought their offlane was a yikes. I keep them at A tier. I don't hate them, but they're they won. That's all I got. Thanks.
Moving on to Fevicol, I think is how you say it. This team changed their name already. I think they were Bufu before. I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows any of these players. I don't recognize any of their names.
Is that the same Java from way back when? I doubt it. He's like Ancient 4.
That's a yikes in
But
chat, boys.
I mean, I don't think he would have gone from like Crusader 3 to Ancient 4 in 3 seasons. But it could happen. I don't know.
Says he played for IBAD. What? I'm being serious. He's on the roster on his Dota buff.
So is it that guy?
Oops, I already clicked on this guy. Oopsies.
Max would be able to tell.
Oh yeah, that is the same guy.
I think Max might have died. Unfortunate.
Sorry, what's up?
It is the
Yeah,
same guy.
The
Okay.
only experience I have, we played
What's the
against
question?
him, and he played Slark into Aleshrac, so that was a hard game for him. That is absolutely useless input, but that's what happened.
Yeah. Slava, the captain of Java's team, said
Wait.
that he was probably their best player, and they tried to pick around him. I guess just the rest of the team didn't play up to it. I don't know. We nothing but stomped these guys every time we played them.
He looks like he has good stats, like in his games. Well, sometimes not so much, but
What the heck? This guy doesn't even have a medal. He's uncalibrated. Admin? Ban him.
Oh, he's very high skill, so he's probably like a high legend or ancient player. He'll probably have to. He has a couple of days to play his matches.
A couple of the players have like a 48% win rate overall. They've got some Archons on the team. I don't know. I don't know the players. Just go when we don't know the players. It sounds like you guys might know one of the players on here, but I think for the most part, it's fair to say that they're newer people.
When you
guess
don't
Mhm.
know the players, throw them in B tier. That's what I've
I would go
gathered
C
from
tier with
this.
this one.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
gonna say the reason why I'm
Just
thinking
because I
C tier is
know.
there's multiple with below 50% win rate. They've got Archons on the team. One person's not calibrated. It's just a bunch of weird stuff. And if you don't meet all the requirements, you can't be put up with the big dogs.
I'll say this: from what I remember playing against
What's
Java on Revamp is
cool?
that they just didn't work together as a team. Like it was just like playing a pub. The only thing they did was smoke to a rune at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I got him at C tier just because.
Yeah,
But they can move up.
it'll
They
be a
can
stack more
surprise.
than a team. Yeah.
Now this team right here, ooh, I don't know a lot about these guys. The only thing that I do know is Snow has told me that these guys have been playing together. They're basically take Red 5 and amplify the team. They're just a group of friends that have been playing together forever. They're just like again, Red 5 but just with a lot higher skill cap. And seeing as Red 5 already won this last season, I mean, again, a lot of people at the start of the season thought that they weren't going to do all that well. The Red 5 didn't win a bunch of games, but When you just have a lot of games playing with people and that stuff, you're comfortable with each other. It makes the world a difference. When you can trust your players and you don't have to micro every call, it really does wonders for the team. So I think just because I don't know too much about this team, maybe one of you guys do, and you can, tell me afterwards. But I think it's fair to say that these guys are B tier, maybe even could be A tier.
So all of their cores are ancient, it looks like, and they have an Archon 4 and then a Legend 1 as their supports. So I think if these guys are comfortable playing with each other, it looks like they have a solid core stack. I think these guys could be A tier.
They actually could be A tier. I remember them playing intermediate when I used to cast Snowflake games. They're a pretty okay team. I like all three of their cores. It looks like they win a lot of games. Or they don't feed in their pubs, and that's a huge thing I look at for a player. I think they could be A tier. They could be B tier. It looks like they've taken a little bit of a break. They season 19 to 23. Ooh, I don't know. I just kind of remember them. I remember BDC. I remember their
Yeah,
captain. I
BDC
don't
looks
remember,
familiar.
but and he like you click his games and you see that he's played pretty decently. And Magoo's pretty active. He's Legend 1, but
I was gonna say
that's
Magoo's got like 600 or 550, 600 games in total.
well, he's active in Discord, kind of.
Yeah.
He's typed more than once. I think I think it's okay. I put them at B or A. It's kind of tough to say when you don't know them. I have a feeling if we put them in A tier, they might drop, but they could surprise us at B. It's kind of tough
But I
putting
mean,
them
So
one or the other.
according to their team on Dota Buff, they have 120 games played together, founded in late 2016. So
Hmm.
it looks like they've played a lot together. It looks like their roster is at least pretty similar. Same to that other stack. It looks like they have a very similar roster throughout the years. So I'd
Hmm.
kind of put these guys at A tier, I think.
yeah, that's what I put him at. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think I put them there as well. I think they're better than B tier.
Smiley face
Everybody agreed? Yay.
at B tier. You said?
Hmm?
No, I have OO as A tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I put
that's
you
what
as
I
A
that's
Yeah,
what
tier.
I
yeah,
put
yeah,
them at.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
I
fair.
think they look like they're better than our B tier teams, but honestly, after first week, we're gonna have people on B go to A and A to B, and maybe some team goes to S. Like, what if OO is like super duper good, and like let's say they face IBAD, just an example, and they 2-0 them. Honestly, if IBAD or OO 2-0 each other, they could go to S tier. I'll even bring IBAD from C tier to S tier
No, no, no,
if
no.
that's
We're
a
not we're
matchup.
not getting back into this.
I'm just saying. Smiley face.
All right, now here is the team that's going to cause all the hype in the chat. We have the Silver Breakfast Pandas, the runner-ups for contender, the team that, according to Harbinger, if they stayed in contender, people would make fun of them.
I
So,
think. Don't they have an ancient one?
Tornado is Ancient 2, I believe, actually,
Mm,
the mid laner. All I
I'm
have
just
to,
saying.
She
all I have
doesn't
to
play
say is
mid
from
anymore.
what?
She doesn't play mid anymore. That's a shame.
Hugh is their position 3 this season.
Okay.
All I could say about Tornado is anytime I've ever queued up with him, he always whispers into his microphone, trust, and then picks position 5 techies. We have not lost yet, but it still bothers me.
Trust.
Okay.
I personally think this team is stronger than how they ended last season. Shu being in a core role is going to be a little bit better for them. They brought in Shiri, who's a really good pause 4. He's going to win them games for sure. I think it mostly is going to come down to how Tornado does in his lane. And if he can get his comfort heroes or not. They're really flexible with their picks as well, I think. They have a few heroes that they can kind of first phase and throw in all 3
Oh,
lanes.
Tornado's like in 5 now, actually.
Nice, big moves. But yeah, I think they're going to be pretty difficult to draft against.
Yeah, they do have decent hero pools, actually. These guys actually have hero pools. It's no puddles or raindrops over here.
Yeah, and I think they're all pretty flexible with roles as well. Like we saw in the grand final or the semifinals, Tornado pulling out his techies. Um, I know Harbinger's comfortable in, I'm pretty sure, all 3 core roles, at least 1 and 3. Shu is comfortable in all 3 core roles, so they're pretty flexible with their positioning and then some of their picks.
I think
And Shuri also used to be a mid laner, so that is another thing that they could switch Shiri to mid and play position 4 techies.
I think that the team is good. However, I have a feeling that they might encounter what my team encountered last season. We played in contender. We played very well. We thought we were on top of the world. We didn't show any team any respect. We jumped up to intermediate and we just got stomped into the ground. Now I think that SPP has some powerful players on their roster. Most of their players are good players, I'd even say. But I also thought that about my team. Maybe that was biased, but again, we struggled very hard in intermediate just because we didn't show them the respect that these teams deserved. You can look at it how Villains did as well. I told all their players that the drafting's not going to matter all that much. You just have to show this team respect. And Mango and all of them were saying that it doesn't matter. Harbinger's a garbage player. Hugh's a garbage player. Mazza doesn't know how to play the game, and then they lose. I mean, they got cheese picked basically. I mean, their mid laner decided to play pause 5, and they lost to it. Ateki's went first item hood, and they lost to it. I mean, you didn't show the team any respect at all. So if they don't respect these teams that they're playing against, I think that this team will be the weakest. However, if they go in here, if they do their research, they keep practicing together, they play like how they have been, I think they could possibly be one of the teams in the upper part of the bracket. However, I think this team's also going to need to be one of the teams that puts in the most amount of effort to make that happen compared to the others.
Okay, silver breakfast pandas. I was waiting, Juke. First off, I was one of those people that thought Harbinger was trash. But I have played, yeah, especially from the in-house, always losing with Harb or beating him. I played, I know pubs don't weigh a lot, but I played some pubs with
Unless it's
Harb.
Valorant.
I was playing in the mid lane. You know what? There was divines in our games. You know what happened? Harb and we won every single game. And let me tell you, I didn't win mid once. I was low net worth. I was basically not a. I felt like a pause 4 in those games. But you know what? Harb had my back. He carried every single game with or without Biggie. I actually think this team can go places. I think Tornado looks like a really good mid. I'm a full Harb believer. I think Shu going to pause 3. If Shu can get a decent hero pool, because I do care about hero pools, because as a drafter, if I see you don't have a hero pool, shout out to Zykor on TBD, you're done for. You're destroyed. You will get targeted. If all you play is 2 offlane heroes, I'm taking them away from you. Enjoy your games. But I think this team can go far. I wanted to actually put them as an F tier team, but after hyping them up so much, I'm gonna put them as I think a B tier for me. I want to put them as A, but I don't want to give them too much hope because I could see them like picking techies randomly and then losing a game. So if I can't put them as A tier because of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them as B tier just because, like I said, I think the teams got to prove themselves first. Again, we've all seen it before. We see that the team can play well and everything, but again, we just have to. I need to see them play against these players who are better at the game, these higher skill players, these teams that are more coordinated, to make sure that they can actually handle themselves up here before I put them in a really high up spot.
Is this their first season coming up? Like they just came up last season?
Yep. Well, last
Oh.
season they were in contender. They took second place, and now they're moving up to intermediate.
Harb was in intermediate.
Yeah,
let me
Harb
tell
wasn't
you,
in
he
intermediate.
got
I-
dumpstered.
I will say that like we did scrim this team 2 seasons ago, and Harbinger is like a very strong core player, position 1. Like he can play both types of play styles. Like he can play the Uber farm heroes like TB and that things, but he just had like a weak team around him, so it's very easy to pressure him and just kind of like take control of his jungle and squeeze his farm out and then just end the game early. And Shu was their mid when we scrimmed them, and he disrespected me before the scrim started, so I disrespected him in the game. But yeah, I mean, the results show from last season. I think they're probably one of the better teams in this division from what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
didn't
would
really
say they're
follow them
similar to
last season.
IBAD
Yeah.
with being kind of well-rounded, only I don't know if their cores are as strong with exception of 1 or 2.
I think now that they have a better mid and Shoes moved over to the offlane, that it will make space for Harbinger better. Maybe that's maybe I'm wrong because I didn't really follow them. I only watched the playoffs of last season. That's my understanding of it.
Max, you got anything that you want to add to SBP?
Max here.
I think he is. Did he dip out?
I mean, he's still in the call.
I'll do Max's take too. They have a cool name.
No, he actually hated the name. He flamed for it because
Alright,
it
never
got
mind.
picked by a random name generator.
My name's Max, and I hate Silver Breakfast Pandas team.
It's not a good acronym.
It's not a good acronym.
He doesn't like
We
it.
need acronyms.
All right.
Why do you need acronyms?
You heard it here first from Max. He doesn't like the team name.
Why do you need this is the issue. He's only based it on
Fireryman
one
just hates
criteria.
anything that Max stands for.
Dude,
and
No,
he argues
I-
to the ends of the
They're
earth.
both in here for that reason.
The hell? You
Max.
actually think so? No. I think that, they have potential. But are you kidding me? That name was good when Artifact came out. Change it up a little bit, maybe. Let's go and act.
The team name was good when the team was good.
No, the team name
Now
was
the team-
good when
teams and
Artifact came out. Now it's kind of lame. Updated.
You guys are
please.
talking about Artifact again?
He's back.
Hi, I'm Max.
No.
No,
If your
they
name
brought
ain't
you
got-
up.
If your name ain't got acronyms, you're gonna get smackronyms.
Look. If you just there needs to be some thought in a team name. It has to evoke some sort of imagery related to the game or something funny. If it's
Yeah,
just
like
something
mine.
that you pick out of a dictionary, there's F for effort. Like
Okay,
we were
okay, I need
correct
to
in our
defend-
assumption.
I need to add something. I actually don't hate Mad Max's name that much. Like, it's not the worst name. I just don't have it at number 1, and I don't like his criteria of acronyms are super duper important. But I actually
basis
don't
for a
hate
good
his
team
name.
is just slashing onto someone
this
else.
Is, this is not a
Fireryman.
team name content stream. This is an
My
intermediate content
name
stream. Moving
It's
on.
a meme name. Mr. Game Boy, Mr. Juke Boy. Come on, man.
All right. Are we gonna comment on the fact that there is currently Divine players in Intermediate League?
I saw that,
Who's that?
actually.
Is that
Radio Foot.
For helmets on.
Yeah, I give him an exception because their team average is really low otherwise,
Oof.
and it's only a divine one.
Ooh.
Yikes.
I
So,
actually
let's
have a
look.
Divine friend that wants to play.
Yikes
And it's
for me,
okay. I'm
bro.
losing a lot of games, so our average is down.
I mean, what helmets on?
That's why you're
They're
still
actually
winning.
playing with the literal Crusader. I mean, if you,
Yeah, but what if the Crusader support?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that weak supports are the easiest aspect of a team to exploit.
yeah, but I mean, you could also just kind of have them sit behind the
Mhm.
wave and just throw a spell every time it's off cooldown and it not be terrible,
Mhm.
and then be Crusader 5 and have a Divine 1 core. Like,
It's literally
that's
one.
actually
I mean,
exactly
look,
what they-
if you actually genuinely think that this is a questionable decision, then please bring it up and make a big deal. Or
Okay, I'm looking
I'm
at
not
their
a public
team.
big deal
Guys,
out of it,
make
but
a
definitely
ticket,
Man, Max
damn
is
it.
right. Keep them
make
in.
a ticket,
Keep
be
'em in.
orderly.
I will say that's exactly what they do with their Crusader. They just pick a Warlock, which is what I did when I started Dota. My friend was just like, pick Warlock and just sit behind me and press W on me.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at their team. I'd keep the Divine one. I would. You know, if they start winning every game and their Divine one somehow turns into Divine 5 in like 2 weeks, you know, maybe we question it, even
Well,
though
this
that's
was
allowed. But I'm fine with it.
the controversy last season, though. It's like,
Shit.
holy shit. You either have a hard cap or you don't. Like, that's the thing. You either you either keep it a hard cap and keep the rules the same for everybody, or you start making exceptions here and there, and everything gets messy. People don't care for the rules anymore because they're being exceptions made. Like,
Again, I think we don't need to jump into it on the stream. Again, the tickets are there for a reason. It's a good idea to use that. The only thing I'll say is that, again, Fireryman did have a decent point with this. If they're winning their games and it looks like the Divine player is the sole reason, I think then a mistake has been made.
well,
Now-
yeah, but like you can't be like, oh, well, it was in the rules beforehand, but we didn't say anything until you guys started winning. Then it feels even worse, right? Because
So-
then
I
teams
mean,
already have a loss.
As long as they're distinctly aware that they're playing on an exemption, and that I mean,
All I'm
look,
saying is,
I'll take full responsibility if these guys get out of hand and ruin the rest of the season for everyone else. But
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
If I
that
was them, I'd
fans-
throw a
Yeah.
few games so you could stay and then destroy everybody in playoff.
first phase bans Disruptor Warlock, and this team is C tier.
I believe
kinda
actually
true.
that their divine player is actually going to be even supporting. So,
I'm honestly not
But, I
concerned
mean,
with
like,
this team.
once again,
Crusader. Oh, he plays
I
Warlock
don't
and
make-
PA. That's it.
don't make a distinction based off support or core MMR. But
No, I'm not
Yeah.
even just picking this one guy. I'm picking. I looked at all five, and I think I don't think this team is like an S tier team. Even the only, like I mentioned, the only concern is if this divine starts pooping on people. But listen, if a divine one is destroying teams with 5 ancients, and this team has like a legend and a crusader and like 2 low ancients, like, and that divine's doing amazing, then that divine's really good, and not actually divine one. But I actually think I think their team's fine. I'd let him play. I'd let him play.
he's one medal, one star over the rank
Yeah.
cap, and they have a crusader to balance it out in intermediate. I think that's reasonable. and
I'm gonna
fair.
be honest. Based on looking at the team, and medals, yes, it's the medals are the only thing that we have to go off of to figure out somebody's rank.
He was also a
However-
Divine 5 last season.
I was ancient 3 last season.
I know, but
But-
still, we're saying that he's one over. Like, his core MMR is Ancient 4, his support MMR is Divine 1, but he was a Divine 5 last season.
Now the
Mhm.
thing is it doesn't matter really too much what the rank is. Like, yes, the cap is there. We use the medals and that stuff to try to balance it out as best as we can. Again, if a lot of people have issues, that's what the ticket's there for. I've used the ticket already for stuff. I'm sure a lot of other people have, because I think I was like ticket like number 74 or something, and we've only had it for a few weeks. So, they're there to be used. They are being used. Stuff's being responded to. Like, that's what it's there for. Just because you are a divine, yes, you can carry the game. However, look at my RD2L team, okay? Shout out to Drodes. That's all I'm going to say right there. I'm constantly playing my games against divine players. I'm going up against middle immortal players and that stuff because the matchmaking system is just garbage.
Oh, I mean, that's how RD2L is set up, though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. That's
Like,
true.
that's
I'm
different.
just,
It's a
I'm
different
just
league.
trying
It's
to
set
say
up to
that the
be like
metal
that.
thing.
You guys
is-
are basing your assessment off of medals, and I'm going to base my assessment of this team off of their team name, like we should have been doing this whole time. Their team
You're
name is
right.
Helmets On. That is my biggest concern. This team is C.
Yeah, they're probably drooling right now.
They
Honestly, I
probably
really
have
like
a
their team
Packers
name.
helmet in their house somewhere.
I'm gonna agree with Scotty here.
I think they know. You know what, that name actually makes me think that they know they're not going to do well.
This dude's a master tier Rubik, by the way. They're divine
Yo,
player.
dude, I'll pick it first and go middle. I don't care. All right. Moving on.
Strat.
We have the Zero Hoots gang, which used to be known as TBD. Very large roster. I don't know how many of these guys are actually Cloud Kicker is not actually on here because I believe
They
he
literally
plays on
make
Ember.
two teams with everybody they have on that
Yeah.
roster.
I think I know Zykor,
Zykor,
Obelisk.
I think
and I think-
Saltwater,
What?
Yeah.
It's gonna be
QOD.
Saltwater, Obelisk, Zykor, Rev,
And HOD,
HOD.
right? Yeah.
I think that's been their roster for a while.
Now again, this team took another break. They took not last season, but the season before, I believe they took second place. In intermediate.
What's Zykor been playing?
Zykor plays support mostly. Yeah.
I
I guess he's a
no.
little bit of a mixture.
Oh, 4, okay. He's playing new heroes. That's good. He doesn't have a 3-hero pool anymore.
Shout out to
That's good.
Zykor for some unknown reason. When I solo queue, he's in like half of my games.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you win?
I do. He hypes me up quite a bit, actually. It's pretty nice. He screams into the microphone about me, so it's pretty cool.
Oh.
So
Honestly, Juke, if you're in my game, I'd scream at you
Yo,
too.
shout out to Zen. That one time I was in your game and you were streaming and you just kept screaming my name over and over because I was getting ultra kills every couple minutes.
You think Zen is playing again?
I don't think he's playing. I think he's probably gonna stick with casting.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
I don't know. The team when they played in 2 seasons ago, I think they beat IBAD on a fluke. If I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I think it should have been IBAD versus Cosmic in the finals. That's just a personal opinion.
Dagley was saving the world from hurricanes.
I was
That is true.
we
I just
played
finished a
against we
3-day
played against
shift.
this team. I believe it was this. Yeah, I think it was TBD. We played against them. Shy Dagger baited me into picking Dazzle middle, and I think we won the game at like 14 minutes. So
God bless Shy Dagger.
Shout out to Fandy.
Maybe the team's different now. I don't know. I haven't seen him play recently. I haven't talked to him. I just don't know much about him as of right now. So I'm just basing mine off of the past. If I'm basing it off the past, I would put this team at a high C tier, low B tier team.
Okay, you ready, Juke? You ready for my hot take?
God, then here's the novel.
Okay.
Guys, 30 seconds.
No, okay. I need a minute here. Okay.
God,
TBD.
Someone
They
ping
used
me
to.
when he's done.
They
and
were
I'll
a
address
team
him.
contender. Okay. Long story short, what Team Ember did to Carl's team, that is what TBD or this new team is Zero Hoots Gang did to my team in season 21. So I don't have any respect for them. But anyways, I beat them in intermediate because they're really bad players. I think Zykor has a very small 4 hero pool. I don't think he's that good of a 4. I think he could be an offlaner. And I think Obelisk is not an intermediate carry. He fit more into Archon League. So I'm putting them as F for friendly. And that's where I was going to put Harb's team, but then I talked up Harb a lot. And I'm like, you know what? Harb can do better. But TBD, no way. I think they're going to be a bottom dwelling team. They should actually just be in contender.
Can I rebut that? I resent that statement, actually. I resent all of it. I would actually put them middle B tier. I think Rev's a very solid mid laner. I think he can be put in a bad matchup and still find a way to come out all right. I think
He's a pretty good
Obelisk is
jungler.
I think Obelisk is an all right carry. I think he does his job, and they just give him like a jug or a lifesteal or something that can just sit in lane and be all right. I think the big thing that they have is their support duo. I believe it was Saltwater Taffy's there for. Am I right?
Taffy's a core.
Taffy's a core.
Zykor is support.
Oh, Zykor support. They switched.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that they just been playing together and they understand how to play together, and I think they'll be an average team. And I think that breaks are good for you, and I think they'll come out all right as long as Rev keeps his head.
I like hot takes. This is what I'm talking about. Different
I don't
takes. I
think that
love
was
it.
a hot take. I just called them all average.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about my hot take. Then you came
Also,
and you're
I
like,
wouldn't
hey,
rate them
average.
friendly because they're not friendly. They're not friendly
They are
at all.
not friendly. I will agree.
They're not friendly.
I didn't want to make F for failure, so I
This
made
is
it friendly.
This is a team that is not respectful.
No, not at all. We had a encounter with them 2 seasons ago. There was a funeral, and we tried to reschedule, and they
Yeah.
basically told us to fuck off, and we should reschedule the funeral.
Yeah.
Okay, F for failure. I changed it on my stream. You happy?
Like I said, I would say they're B tier. That's my take.
But anyway, I got them in B tier. I will put them in C tier, but I'm gonna give Zykor the benefit of the doubt and put them in B tier.
I got them below C. We'll see. We'll see where they are. Hopefully low.
That's true. Gam's right.
I'd hate for them to be high.
I keep clicking on the wrong thing here. Okay, now we're on to the team that I can't say too much on. We're on DH, my team. I think all around the players are good. I've been putting them in very uncomfortable situations on purpose. I've been making them play in situations that they're normally not going to encounter just so I can see how they react. I mean, if you go look at, again, it's not very fair to base stuff off of pubs. We're 1-3 in scrims, so I can't talk too much. However, our pubs, anytime we 5-stack, we're winning games. We're playing, again, this is where it comes into, we're playing against these immortal stacks because the matchmaking is just absolutely garbage. But
this team is the sole reason S tier was made. Moving on.
but
I really wanted Dylan's full opinion on this team.
yeah, I was gonna say again, that's just my hot take on it. I will not be biased to it. I will let you guys comment on the team as you see fit, and then you guys can decide where the team goes.
I think if Urbo gets a telescope, he'll win you games.
That's true. That's actually true. Shout out to Urbo.
Here's my opinion. I think in the past, DH was definitely an overrated team that had the fortune of having nice brackets. And basically, when I looked at DH, I never really saw any identity. I just saw 5 individual players. But this particular roster, where you've yoinked quite a few talented players from several
The
different
top
teams.
players of each of the 5 teams. Go ahead.
some very talented players, and the fact that Snow is drafting now, I see DH as a actual serious team that could be pretty scary to play against. Yeah, I think you guys are going to be pretty good. A tier at least.
Is that it? Or are we just putting it at A tier and calling it
All
that?
right, Fireman.
Well,
I'm setting
At
a
least
timer.
they said.
I'm
I
setting
want-
a
1 minute. 1 minute.
Alright,
1 minute. I'll give you
30-second warning.
I'll give you 50 seconds.
Oh.
What?
3.
No, you gotta give me a minute. No, fuck that.
Alright,
Okay,
alright,
anyways, Digital
minute.
Habitat. First
Go.
off, Jukester, one of the most prolific players in 82 Hill history. He has Urbo and Talus. First off, Talus, great dude. I didn't know much about him. I thought he was actually a snob. I played with him as a 4 and a 3. Great guy to have in your lane. Amazing. Urbo, already knew he was one of the, actually, he probably is the best Pause 5 in the league. Amazing player. I can't wait to watch some of their games. Might end up casting a lot of the games because Mr. Juke Boy might not happen. Anyways, Snow, I'm a little on the fence about. I think he's kind of like a Rhino offlaner, kind of like Mad Max. So we'll kind of wait and see how they kind of, do. I think Jukester's going to kind of rein him in, and I think Jukester's like the perfect mid to fit with them. And Jared Cabra, I see a lot of Fireryman in him, which is a good thing. I think Fireryman is an amazing player, intermediate champ. I think Jared Cabra has what it takes to take this team to win intermediate. Okay, I'm good.
Okay,
A tier.
All right.
I
You
want
had
to
5
protest
seconds
of
remaining.
how you constantly compare me and Rhino
And Snow
as
now.
equivalents.
Yes.
I think they are
Close,
very
Fireman.
different in
Not
playstyle,
even
but
close.
we'll move
It's
on.
not about the play style. It's just about how I feel about them and where they're
also-
at. And
well,
Snow
I-
fits that criteria as
All
well.
right. Team
Facts over
unknown.
feelings.
Okay, do we have a
Mad Max, if it makes you feel
placement
better,
for
here's a few
DH?
things. You're a more calm person than Rhino. You're more chill than him as
All
well.
right, this
And
is-
you
this is
guys
not
also
a-
wait, I'm not done.
This
is not a
Wait,
Max
he's
versus
asking
Rhino
a question. He's asking the question.
I'm
And
not asking
I
a
think
question. I'm
I
saying
think
I
he plays more
despise the fact that you
greedier.
keep comparing us.
You're more greedier, but I love you all. I love you all equally.
Okay.
Digital Habitat
So
meme
very
team.
little.
These players are known. All right. Look at all 5 of them. They're known. Look at the list. Known players.
Yeah.
A tier. Maybe low.
I like
tier.
it.
I
Low
feel
A tier.
like there's a lot of pressure on
I
these
have
guys to perform just
lots of
because of how
pressure.
vocal they are, but I think they're gonna do it A tier.
Low A tier. I've seen this team in scrims. Sometimes they get sucked into weird fights and save your friend syndrome, and it loses them the game off of one bad fight. But they're a very strong team. They've been scrimming strong teams. I got paid because I'm on the academy team for this roster to say all of this. Juke is holding me at gunpoint. A tier team.
Oh, move on. Go next. All right. So we're just going A tier then. Is that fair? Is that what you guys want? Is it B tier?
Personally,
What do you guys think?
I don't think you can call any team an intermediate S tier. So
I agree. I don't know why
I
it's
agree.
there. Actually, I
Because
do know why
some
it's there.
team will get S
Our
tier.
next team, T Smurf,
Some team will
single-handedly carrying Team Unknown to the intermediate season 27 title. T Smurf is all you need to know. Remember the name.
Yo, I laned against T Smurf twice. That team is not S tier. He's not carrying that team. No flame.
I mean, T Smurf couldn't even carry the Sprout team to beat us, so yikes.
All right, so now we are finally at the end of the list. We are at Unknown. We have Rhino, TJ, Eclipse, Panda God, and he's not on here, but we have Bobby or Fat Chaz only.
Not gonna lie, I think they have 2 mid players on this team, which is really weird. I haven't really seen Bobby play anything other than mid. But
Yeah.
I think they're gonna beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and I think they're gonna go 1-1 with the other A tier teams. I think that's about it. I think they can get sucked into some weird drafts, but I also think that weird drafts are gonna win them some other games that they shouldn't win.
I think with this team, knowing Rhino, him and I, we sit in calls all the time and that stuff and talk about our teams and that stuff and what the other one thinks that we can improve. What we think about the other one's players and that stuff, just trying to get outside perspective so that way we can help each other as best as we can. I think with this team, the only issue they have 5 very strong players. All these players individually are good. All these players together as a team play well also. The issue that they're going to have is going to be their drafting. TJ plays as if he wants to be the flashy hero. He wants to be the reason they win. Bobby, based on how I've been seeing him play, he's the same way. He wants to be flashy. He wants to win. Panda, he plays flashy. He wants to be the reason they win. And we all know Rhino. Rhino damn well wants to be the reason they win. They have 4 heroes or 4 players that want to be the all-star of the team. Unfortunately, you can't have that. That can't be the case. It's just too greedy. Now, a lot of times they get away with it. That's why I think this team is strong, because they know how to push it and get away with it. However, again, I think that this team is the same as Max's team. They have a way that they figured out that they want to play, how they want to win. It's going to work very well. But if a team figures that out and can figure out how to stop it, the team's not going to know what to do.
all right.
Yeah, I compared him to Max. I'm sorry, Max. You guys, your play styles are not the same. I just mean the idea of what you guys want. You guys have both of your teams have figured out how you need to win the game. They're different ways, but you guys have figured it out. And the reason why I compared you guys is because I think you're 2 of the only teams in intermediate right now that have that figured out.
All right. Well, allow me to do my take then. I see Unknown as I'm looking more in terms of how the team is formed, and I see them as the exact opposite of my team, where they are a it's basically a collection of all stars, even though ironically Rhino is not an all star.
Shout out.
Shout out to
I
Rhino.
second that. I second that statement.
But yeah, it's just a bunch of individually talented players, and really what I personally I try to steer away from those. I saw S26C kind of the same thing. There's just a bunch of talented, individually skilled players, but no real team cohesion. And in a way, kind of I saw that as the downfall of S26C. They didn't have the team cohesion, and they didn't bother developing it because they were just crushing everyone in the group stage. So,
I'll back that. I'll add on to that. The team is like one of those teams that it could go either way. Like I see them doing well during the season. They've been playing well in scrims, but I think they're just going to get exposed in the playoffs.
Oh look, Rhino showed up.
if they
Perfect for me to
actually
come in.
like work on the team play and the drafting and all that, then they will be definitely a scary team. And I mean, based off of how they're doing their scrims, they seem to be doing off to a good start. But I mean, remains to be seen if as other teams start developing cohesion and can kind of make a game plan against these guys to see if they still hold on to their position.
I think this team could potentially be one of the top tier teams.
Really?
I think so.
Hmm. Why?
I just again, this patch is all about just getting farm, and obviously, maybe this seems like, oh yeah, every patch is like that. Just let me finish. You need to get farm. You need to be ahead of the enemy team, and not only do you need to have like one hero on the map that's incredibly strong, you need all of your heroes to be strong. You need to. All their players are so greedy that there's not going to be stuff on the map to take. Like if this team gets an early lead and can hold it, it's going to be one of those scenarios where it's going to be almost impossible to come back from.
I
Now,
legit think this team winning and losing games relies on Bobby. Like Rhino's gonna do his thing, TJ's gonna do his thing, but it all has to do with if Bobby wins his lane or not.
That's true.
I feel like that's all it's gonna come down to. Like everyone knows how TJ plays, everyone knows how Rhino plays, but I'm pretty sure Bobby's a mid player, so it's just gonna be up to him winning safe lane.
We have 5 players. Some people are calling them all stars. Team unknown. I thought it was going to be a huge meme.
Get
I
your
thought Rhino
clock
was
ready,
just getting
Dylan.
5s together.
Oh shit.
I kind of was like, kind of question it. Rhino, I don't know if he's the greatest drafter, but I played with Rhino, and let me tell you, he does one thing good. He wins lanes. That's what he does. You put a 4 next to him, that 4 is going to do a great job. Bricko, we saw how good he looked because he's amazing. Rhino, amazing. TJ, one of the nicest. I thought, first off, everybody thought he was Smurf because that's how good he is. And he's one of the nicest people in 82. Well, Eclipse, Panda God, literally
The
God
only thing
in
bigger
his
than this
name.
man's heart is his balls.
God in his name.
And his love
This
for me.
team could win it all. They could also flop with the amount of roster changes they make. But I honestly think I'd put them as B tier, let them play a couple of weeks. They could be S tier. I 100% believe they could go somewhere. I really do. Question on the drafted. I also want to mention Rhino in games when he played with me was very PMA. Very PMA. Dude, you probably set that up 10 seconds and you
I said
decided
it
to just play
I
it.
said it for a minute, and that was after 10 seconds.
Really? That was more than a minute?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, listen, I was holding it up. I didn't get to say anything. I said, "Are you ready for my opinion?" And then someone just kept talking because nobody wanted it.
I put this team at high B tier. They scrimmed the contender team with 2 games together and barely won because they threw. And then talk shit about it afterwards. But they look good in their pubs versus the intermediate teams, and that's what matters.
By the way, team villains, they were just lacking a little leadership from Fireman. Just putting that out there. Okay, I'm good.
All right. So you guys, what do you think? I think that this is another team that's got a little bit to prove. Just because they brought the team together now, I think it's safe to put these guys in B tier. I want to put them in A tier. However, because they've already done another roster change, I feel like there's a good chance that they could fall back into that pattern. So that's why I want to put them in B tier.
Yeah, but Bobby looks good.
Yeah,
Bobby looks good.
if anybody wants to argue that they should be in C tier or an A tier or even S tier, now's your point.
I just want to share something. My stream was muted this whole entire time.
Oh.
Oh
God.
no!
I was gonna put this on YouTube after and muted. All content gone. Just go to Jukes. I'm actually so upset right now. Yeah, I won't be going on YouTube unless if I somehow find a way to like move it off. I'm actually so upset right now. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna,
All right, Max, you had
Go
something
cry.
that you wanted to say.
I was just going to close it out by saying that I have little respect for Rhino's team.
Damn.
His words.
I love you, Max.
Honestly, the only thing, like I said, that they have a bunch of all stars, and I don't put too much weight in that. And the only reason I think that they have something going on is because of their recent scrim results against or if you ever they played. I know they played Jew and they played TTP. I remember now.
Yep.
And they look decent there. So I definitely see these guys as being a challenge. But I can personally confidently predict that I don't think these guys are going to be winning the season.
dude, I had some solid facial reactions and I was muted the whole entire time. Can't believe it.
Okay. This guy right here, everybody, is going to be jumping in the call for just a real quick second.
All right, you fucking papegs, dude. All right, let's get this straight with Team Unknown. All right, nobody knows. I mean, okay, me and Rhino, you know, I call Rhino Clown. All right, I think most people call him Clown. All right, but I'm not a cheerleader for them boys. I've watched their scrims, I've casted it, and I've analyzed thousands of hours of this team's gameplay. This team is fucking legit, man. I don't care what you say, man. And most of scrims, they have been down early in the game, and they come back, man. They have leadership in the team. They don't care. And look, the easiest thing to clean up is laning phase. You can clean up laning phase so easy on a team. That takes like a couple games. You can just kind of say like, oh, you know, small stuff. Laning phase is about small stuff that makes a big impact.
Why haven't you cleaned up?
But what's important though is macro. They are winning their games. They're down early. And they come back, they take good team fights. T-Smurf is a god gamer. They got P-God on his Phoenix. You have to ban his Phoenix every single fucking game, or he will roll you with it. And then, you know, you got Chaw. I think I watched like 2 or 3 Chaw games, dude. He is insane. And then it seems like either him or T-Smurf just pops off in the game. And I'm telling you, Unknown, S tier, they're going to be in the grand finals. Mark my words. I'm outie.
I agree with TJ in the chat. Give him B tier. Don't let it get to Rhino's head.
Oh, no, in that case, give him S tier.
B tier is what they deserve. TJ's a great middle. He's a nice guy. He's probably under Stockholm syndrome for Rhino because Rhino is not a leader. He's an abusive husband.
Whoa.
Unironically a clown. Unironically.
Okay, he definitely is one.
And that is all I have to say because anything else I say about him will be mean.
Drop the mic in the stream right there.
I don't want to be in a call with him ever or look at his text ever because he has nothing of worth to say ever.
All right. Let's we're like an hour and a half into this. I don't think if we go over contender stuff, it's got to be real quick. First, does anybody have any teams based on what I have for my list? Does anybody believe a team should be in a different spot?
I think it's pretty accurate, and I think that's a good sign for intermediate because it means it's going to be close and it's going to be competitive. And
can you scroll down to show C tier?
Yeah.
Or like,
okay. I think we can throw. Okay, let's collectively take one team from B tier and put them into C. Who would that be for everybody?
I bet.
I'm not even in B tier, bro.
I know I have you on. I have you in C tier though, so you know I have 4 C tier teams.
I would say if I actually have to pick one, I pick TNC Tech just because I feel like.
Or do
they
we
were
all
lied to.
agree that, everybody in B tier deserves to be in B tier?
Well, my argument here is that everything is so close that it's really difficult to kind of single these out. And honestly, any team from even C tier I can possibly even imagine taking a game off A tier teams. I think it's going to be a really close and competitive division, and there's. I think
What
it's a good
about
sign.
I've
what about
agreed
number
with
6
Max.
on that
I've
list?
agreed with Max this whole hour and a half. I'm going to disagree with him. He's backtracking our whole hour and a half, making it pointless by saying that. I think these teams are apt where they are.
I'd move 6 down if we can move IBAD down.
XTBD?
Sierra Hoots Gang? Dude, do you guys actually think they're as good as these other B tier teams?
I think they're an average team, and that's what B teams are. They're average and they're unproven, and they took a break, and they have 2 cores that you can just kind of give them whatever, and they'll make it all lane all right.
I think.
You
I
sure,
think.
dude?
I think what it
Yeah,
is
I'm sure.
is what these teams are right now is there is no S tier team. C tier teams are the teams that we look at, and if they perform poorly, we're not going to be surprised. That's what that is. Our B tier teams, these are the teams that need to make or break. If they do poorly, we're like, okay, it happened. If they do good, it's like, okay, we knew they had it in them. They can go. The B tier are the teams that are going to be moving, I think. I think these are the ones that can make the big jumps or fall down. A tier teams, I feel like these are the ones that have those players or that cohesion or have proved that they belong in this spot or whatever. Now again, Unknown, they beat us 2-0 in scrim. I can't argue with it. Okay, I mean, results don't lie. Thug was right. They're playing very well in their scrims. The only thing about it though is it's a scrim. Teams are messing with stuff or whatever. Teams aren't put in that situation where it actually matters yet. Now, I'm not saying we intentionally threw our games. We tried to win. We did. We just didn't go. Our draft is what held us back. We played around with our draft a little bit. It ultimately caused us to lose. We took bad fights because our draft was weird. We didn't know our strengths with it. That's ultimately what that is. Unknown, again, I would have put him in A tier, but the reason why I'm putting him in B tier is because I want to put that pressure on Rhino. I want him to push himself. Because if he's in A tier, he's going to screw himself over, and they're going to be the worst team in the league.
Before I go, Juke, do you want to show my list? Just comparison. I won't even say anything about my list. I'll just be quiet.
Where is it?
I sent you a screenshot.
Revamp. A tier E. It's Framer team. All around good guy. Potentially. We'll see, probably.
There you go, guys. We got our 20 seconds of Fireman's tier list.
All right, real quick, we're just gonna go over a contender thing. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're not gonna go through all these teams. We've got another 11 teams. It's going to take us another hour to go through. So we are going to take 5 to 10 minutes to argue the top 3 teams in contender. Both doesn't matter what division they are, just top 3 teams overall.
I'm not gonna be. I can't
Can
hear
I open
this.
up with this?
Oh, yeah,
I want to
yeah.
open up with this.
I can't
Okay,
hear this.
okay.
Mr. Juke Boy, best team. Fireman out.
Thank you.
Okay,
For,
Mr. Juke Boy isn't even a team yet. He's got 2 players, but I think well, you look at last season.